Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The president of the Diabetes and Hypertension Association is once again calling on locals to do their part in preventing the contraction of the non-communicable disease hypertension. His calls comes in the run-up to Hypertension Day. Hypertension Day is just over 1 week away, and with this non-communicable disease being one of the island's biggest killers, one health official has called on St. Lucians once again to do all in their power to steer clear of it. President of the Diabetes and Hypertension Association, Andrew Felix, said during the month of May, hypertension has been commemorated since the year 2005. The movement, he said, aims at giving persons more information on the disease.
The theme of hypertension this year is Know Your Numbers. Knowing your numbers is very important because there are so many individuals out there living with hypertension or they're hypertensive and they don't even know. And that's very, very important. Hypertension, I'll just read this off. Hypertension and heart disease are global health concerns. The World Health Organization suggests that the growth of processed food in the processed food industry impacts the amount of salt and diet worldwide.
In essence, Felix said the high amount of salt in processed foods today plays a major role in the escalation of hypertension in societies the world over. He implored the masses to pay close attention to their diets and their health figures.
All those persons that are focusing on fake food or junk food and fast food, remember this year, watch the food you eat and change the food you eat. It's very important. Yeah? Or the food you eat is going to change you. Eat food that looks like food. It's very important.
Felix had one warning to consumers, especially parents, to look out for the trappings of fast food and junk food companies.
The main reason they gravitate to junk food and fast food is because they have a larger marketing budget to advertise. So the smaller organizations that sell healthy foods have got a smaller budget, so they don't advertise as much. And you've got to realize a lot of children buy with their eyes. So when they see the fast food and the toys, because they associate fast food with toys and bright colors, so that's what they gravitate to. It's the same all around the world. But what I say to individuals is eat food that looks like food. Eat healthy, make sure you get your exercise in, eat your greens. Because, you know, you can protect yourself by building your immune system and protecting yourself internally as well as externally. You know, your skin, have good skin, have nice hair, look after yourself. All you got to do is eat right. Eat food that looks like food. That's all you got to do. Eat food that looks like food.
Felix said the fact that there are less farmers today as opposed to 10 years ago, this has led to the change in eating habits. Habits, he said, that adults have passed on to their children. A call for a healthy balance of male and female journalists is being made by the National Commission for the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Here is Solange Alfred with the details.
The National Commission of UNESCO, during the recent road mapping for the implementation of Agenda 2030 held at the Office of the Prime Minister, announced an upcoming workshop focused on journalism reporting on Sustainable Development Goals. Secretary General at the Commission of UNESCO, Marcia Symphorian, says this thrust looks to better the capacity of journalists in small island developing states to improve reporting on SDGs.
UNESCO, within the framework of its program and budget for 2018-2019, under the authority of the Director of the UNESCO Cluster Office for the Caribbean, and through the St. Lucia National Commission, has approved the funding to facilitate a training and capacity building workshop which seeks to support small island developing states to improve journalism education aimed at providing media professionals with information and tools to better report on the Sustainable Development Goals, including the achievements, but as well the challenges in implementing the SDGs.
Symphorian says this new initiative falls in line with UNESCO's continued efforts to uphold sustainable development goals across all sectors of society.
UNESCO, as part of the UN system, continues to promote the SDGs and support member states towards the implementation of the goals through its work in all of its fields of competence. First of all, in the field of education, as a lead agency on SDG 4. Responsible for the coordination of the 2030 Agenda on Education, and as well in supporting member states in meeting the target to ensure inclusive and equitable education and promote lifelong learning. The organization also provides support through its work in the field of science and notably through the work of the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, as well as its work in social and human sciences, culture, and information and communication sectors.
The workshop looks to facilitate a balanced gathering of both male and female journalists, says Symphorian. She notes that a total of 30 participants will be catered for in the upcoming June workshop.
Building on the principle of leaving no one behind, the idea is to facilitate teaching of journalism for sustainable development to media personnel from government-run and TV, radio, and print media in St. Lucia, our neighboring OACS islands, and Barbados. In an effort to ensure equal opportunity for participation of women and men in the training workshop, we are hoping to have at least 50% of the participants being women. We recognize that the media is a critical partner in response to this universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy peace and prosperity. We understand the role that the media can play in the promotion of the SDGs and in sensitizing the public, as Minister said, on the importance of these goals. In that regard, we look forward to welcoming you, all of you, representatives of the media, to this training workshop, which is scheduled for June 17th to 18th, 2019.
UNESCO looks to partner up with the Ministry of Sustainable Development for the hosting of the Capacity Building Workshop. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
St. Lucia has been chosen as the island of choice for the cover of the 56th annual edition of Sports Illustrated. The issue is being marked as groundbreaking as it features the U.S. women's national soccer team, including model Halima Aden, the first Muslim model to wear a hijab and bikini in the magazine. Here is Ophelia Mariat with more.
The St. Lucia Tourism Association has proudly announced that St. Lucia has been featured on the cover of the historic Sports Illustrated Swimsuit 2019. The island is displayed in a groundbreaking issue which includes members of the U.S. women's national soccer team and model Halima Adan, the first Muslim model to wear a hijab and bikini in the magazine. St. Lucia and Marigo Bay Resort and Marina welcomed a star-studded lineup of players from the U.S. women's national soccer team for the location shoot, including Abby Dalkemper, Crystal Dunn, Alex Morgan, and Megan Rapinoe. The award-winning Marigo Bay Resort and Marina was handpicked by the VIP team for its luxurious accommodations, sweeping tropical bay views, and 5-star amenities. The destination provided an eye-catching setting for the 56th annual issue with its signature Peter Mountains and distinct beaches with palm tree-lined coves. Shoot locations featured the most iconic and memorable sites of St. Lucia as a backdrop, including the Peter Mountains. Models were photographed enjoying the black volcanic sand beach at Anshasni, the clear turquoise waters of Ansmamin Beach, the lush Toriel waterfall, and the secluded Roseau Beach with verdant banana fields in the background. These spots provided the Sports Illustrated Swimsuit 2019 team opportunities to photograph models in the same uncrowded and breathtaking locations that visitors from around the world enjoy on their own St. Lucia vacations. The lush topography of St. Lucia never disappoints. The striking landscapes are one of our favorites in the Caribbean, says Sports Illustrated editor M.J. Day. Marigo Bay Resort and Marina hosted the models and crew, providing the world-class accommodations suited to the VIP team during the shoot. This coveted vacation spot was the ideal jumping-off point to explore all St. Lucia has to offer, including everything from chartering a private yacht from Marigo Marina, relaxing with a treatment from the resort's new indigenous spa menu, taking in the expansive views of the bay and lush tropical gardens, basking in the sun at the 2 on-property infinity pools, and enjoying local cuisine at the 4 on-site dining venues. St. Lucia was also featured in the 2014 issue, making it the second time that the destination was chosen by the prestigious magazine as a setting point for the global pop culture phenomenon that is the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Most famous for its natural beauty and pristine beaches with clear Caribbean waters, visitors to St. Lucia enjoy the highly Instagrammed natural mud baths, world-class diving and snorkeling, and natural wonders including Ted Paul Nature Trail and the signature pitons. Ophelia Marriott, Hot 7 News.
Meeting 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, is the main agenda for officials from the Ministry of Sustainable Development and members of the Mainstreaming, Acceleration and Policy Supports, MAPS, mission team. The process outlined at a recent press briefing looks to ensure the seamless development of the medium-term development strategy and feeds into the National Development Plan for the island. Solange Alfred gives us more details.
During the Millennium Summit held in September 2000, St. Lucia, alongside a number of global counterparts, committed to promoting sustainable development by signing the Agenda 2030. Replacing the Millennium Development Goals, MDG, Agenda 2030 offered up a more robust set of goals geared towards the advancement of people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. At a recent meeting outlining the roadmap for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, United Nations Resident Coordinator Didier Trebek stated his assurance of the island's commitment to achieving its SDGs by 2030.
It is my pleasure to reaffirm the commitment of the United Nations to support St. Lucia and St. Lucia Society in its sustainable development pathway. We discussed many of the priorities. Some of them are laid out in the mid-term development strategies, such as education, health, quality healthcare, resilience, which is definitely one of the main challenges that face small island development states, and of course how to factor in innovation into those whole processes. Also the need to change the funding paradigm for the SIDS, the small island development states. So we are fully supportive of those approaches.
In a nutshell, the aim of Agenda 2030 seeks to eradicate poverty, address climate change and inequality, and promote good governance. MAP's mission team co-leader Kenroy Roach provided a comprehensive roadmap identifying St. Lucia's readiness to implement the SDGs. He says the need for inclusiveness on all levels is top priority for the team.
Yesterday in the discussion on economic growth and development and productivity, there was a very healthy, robust discussion around inclusion policies and how to ensure, for example, that women, female-headed households benefit from growth, and what sort of social protection measures are necessary to distribute the benefits of growth to population groups that are not usually participating, and also how to bring vulnerable groups into the productive process. So, for example, looking at people with disabilities, and how do you ensure that through redesigning of buildings and giving incentives to private sector to hire people with disabilities, how you encourage more participation of people with disabilities in the productive process. So insofar as the mission is unfolding, we're seeing a lot of good attention to the issues of inclusion.
The proceedings fell under the patronage of Minister for Sustainable Development Dr. Gil Rigobert, who reiterated the importance of SDGs being an underlying factor in every facet of development by thanking the MAPS mission team for what she describes as a Herculean effort.
I also want to thank you for somehow having more people believe that SDGs ought to undergird every ambition that we have. I don't know how you've done it, but evidently you have come a very long way.
The week-long mission from May 6th to the 13th, 2019, will see a partnership between the Ministry of Sustainable Development, Ministry of Economic Development, and the involvement of the Parliament of St. Lucia. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Thank you, Solange. You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. We'll be right back.